This is the MTIT podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Many Things IT podcast. My name is Andisiwe Kayoni. I'm with my co-host Dipo Shabalala, and we are joined by the lovely Miss Sekelile Ndzinisa. I'm actually very excited about this one for some reason. Can you see it in my face? Can you see the excitement?
That's my belly.
So it looks more exciting than normal.
Dipo, maybe
Yeah, it's
before-
exciting.
Maybe before we
It's been
get a crack at it.
yes. We've been away for some time.
We have.
Didn't got it them kwacho.
So background story. I'm explaining now. Basically our studio got disassembled and
And it's been
we were
sitting in
kicked out,
boxes somewhere.
and yeah, our equipment was thrown out and got rained on. But fortunately, we are in this very nice location for the recording. So back with somewhat a bang.
We keep it going.
Yeah, and thank you to the lovely people who have loaned us this very nice location for our recording today.
Yebo baba. Sawubona Sekelile.
Hi, Dipo. Hi, Andisiwe.
Hi, say, how are you?
I'm well, and yourselves?
I'm alright.
We are good. We are excited you are here. So many things are being said about you.
Okay, I'm curious.
When we ask who could be a person, a lady that we can host, your name comes up over and over again.
I hope it's not just Kayoni.
No, no, he doesn't count. He doesn't count.
Okay, good to know.
I mean, you are spoken up of in very, very, like,
The nice places.
very, 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 very,
When
very,
you-
very positively.
The
And we're
nice
excited to
places
have
where
you
people
here.
live. That's where your name is being.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's something.
So I'm guessing your name is mentioned in the right corners. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for hitting the call. Hey, it's been, I think the first time I spoke about it was last year,
Yes,
and you were very reluctant.
I've been very reluctant for a while.
But yeah, thank you for hitting the call. We truly appreciate your presence here.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
So I will avoid the interview question
Okay,
because this is not a job interview that says tell us about yourself.
please,
Um,
let's.
But for the purposes of the viewer, who is Sege?
Sekelile-
So
okay.
basically, you've asked the same interview question that you were avoiding.
Yeah, we're starting with the interview question.
Yeah, but I had to word it right.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, Sekelile Ndzinisa. I'm an engineer by profession, radio frequency planning and quality assurance at a telecommunications company. Did my university at UNESWA, did a degree in electrical and electronics engineering. Hence, I'm here now.
Yeah, but you are so much more than just that. But I guess if we go to your LinkedIn, that's exactly what we'll find. And there are not many telecoms companies, so we sort of have an idea of where you are. So, but how did you find yourself in
In
engineering and particularly in RF?
Well, it's an underwhelming story. So I think to start off with, I had never been completely certain what I wanted to do. I was good at a lot of things, so it was difficult to know exactly what I liked, and
Yeah.
so I was more inclined to going towards financial math, but my application or acceptance was deferred to the next year. So I decided, okay, rather than chilling the entire year, let me go and apply for something. I went to the university and
Here you are.
yeah, and here I am, actually.
Do you have regrets
No,
for your financial math? What?
no, not at all. I think it's difficult for me to have regrets on something that I have no idea how it would have gone. So I try to stay positive in that way. Yeah. So no,
Okay.
no regrets. I'm happy.
So we also are interested in the women in STEM type of engagements, because we also want to be part of bringing a solution to a challenge that exists. And obviously the space that you're in, it's unfortunately male dominated
Yes.
a lot. And in your underwhelming story, as you put it, you were so good at so many different things. Are there any influences that you can point out towards earlier on in your schooling life that prepares you for a career in the STEM careers?
Okay, maybe how could I put this? Being more inclined to the STEM subjects, of course, definitely that makes you more interested and curious.
You were good in them,
I was.
like naturally.
I was.
What are the influences? Is there a teacher? Do you just discover that I'm good, or what?
Honestly, I think it's the latter. I just discovered I was good at
Okay.
it.
All right.
And I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed solving problems
Yeah.
and the like. So yeah, I was just good at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that you find yourself in it, in a STEM career,
Mhm.
are there things that you can highlight that give you an advantage as a woman, or that put you at a disadvantage in the career now?
Maybe I for myself.
Yeah.
Um no, I don't think there is necessarily anything that would be a disadvantage, unless maybe you look at careers where it's more strength based,
Okay.
like with some of our engineers, like field
Mm.
maintenance would be something that's more physical,
Yeah.
and you have to be able to have the strength to carry something up a tower and the
Yeah.
like. So maybe that would be something that, say, I'd find myself at a disadvantage if I had tried to move in that direction.
Okay.
But in the space that I'm at, I wouldn't say I think there are any disadvantages, other than maybe if, when getting into it and there's so many men only in the room,
Mm.
you start maybe self-doubt more than
Okay.
anything would be something that would put you at a disadvantage. But honestly, no,
Okay.
I think we're at par.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I've seen you drive a 4x4 and I was pretty impressed. I was like, this, I can't do that. I'll stick to my Todd roads. It's fine.
Yeah, I think I'm an adrenaline junkie in general, so that's something I really enjoy, the off-road driving. So yeah, I enjoy that.
So, one of the reasons why I was so excited about this is, um, all basically all the previous guests, are people that I was getting to know. So a lot of the engagements were first time sort of engagements.
Mm.
But with you, the story is different. I actually happened to be there the first time you walked into a building to start your job. I was in that building. And what I remember was uh, there is this thing that is said on the internet about infinite aura. Like you just
Yeah.
walked in and you were there and we felt you, we saw you, and you were this genius, for the lack of a better word, who basically gotten talent. And in the work that you've done, it's been visible since. Um, but just maybe tell us about that. Tell us about how it felt, just being there, arriving, and I believe all the time before you were just potential, but now you were just called to act? How did that feel?
It's a crazy story because in my previous internship, I had gone there to pick up a side key. And I sat there staring at the building and I was like, gosh, you know, you're watching these people walk in and out and you're thinking, I would love to work here someday. So it was surreal, actually. Got there and yeah, you have to start working, the fairy tale ends and you start working. But really grateful for the opportunity that I got from this, and um, dream come true kind of thing. But yeah, it's been challenging. At times it hasn't been a fairy tale and all of that. It's been challenging, but I've learned so much and there's still a lot more to learn. I think one thing I'd say I'm really grateful for is um, my growth in a personal space, in a personal capacity, not just with the work only. I think it's something that they also invest in, just making sure that you grow as a person and like grow your capabilities as a leader as well. Like someday in the future, we'll get there, and they invest in making sure that you do gain those skills. So I think I've grown personally as well, more than just only professionally.
Yeah, and we'll be there to celebrate you as you ascend.
But but also what Andisiwe is talking about, there are people that just have presence. There are people that 5 person can come in, but there will be that 1 person that people will remember.
Yes.
And from what is just described, you are that person. You became that person. And there is also another thing that is speaking about talent. The thing with talent is that when you get an opportunity to be in the presence of talent, you actually feel it. This is talent. And I think what I said earlier about in our scouting for potential guests and people that we can host, and then which then leads to the Andisiwe reaching out. It is because of the things that, not so big things, but the things that, the way in which people, your peers that you work with, industry colleagues, actually mention you. It's more about the personality as well, not just the technical abilities and proficiencies, but the personality. They talk about Seke, the person. She's
Color me flattered.
That's why. And it we also, you, whilst we engage in this, it is also an opportunity for us to actually, through your story and other people's stories, to actually provide alternatives to people that are looking at career choices, potential career choices. And also, we're just focused on technology, but basically, then in technology, what are these different things? That's why we host these conversations. And it's credit to you, Loglen Show. But ke sesihambe sangena kuloku deep nalokujulile kwe-conversation. 1 minute in bese ubuta ngabo stem nalini. How would you describe yourself your second? Nje umuntu lonjani?
Wow. Personally,
What keeps you ticking?
I think for me, really, it's learning something new. And I think another thing is I'm always never satisfied, curiosity. Like you get, it could be a gift and a curse at the same time, that you get to something and you're always looking at the next thing to do.
The how
Where,
can be improved.
yes, how can we improve? What's the next thing we can do? So maybe that's something that makes me
It's
more.
a gift.
It's a gift.
Yeah, don't take it as a curse.
I think a curse in the sense that you find yourself not celebrating what you have achieved.
It's common in our environment.
Mm.
A lot of people we I think I think we are socialized in a way that ungadiphakamise. I'm not saying diphakamise,
Yes.
but we are so much socialized in that way. Such that no mangazi ngunedi compliment. I was just doing my job.
Yeah,
Ah,
you can't. What was
ah,
it?
into
You can't
lencane.
applaud a
Ah,
fish
into
for swimming.
lencane.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ah, into lencane. But also, as a personality trait, I think it is something that you should try to avoid to lose,
Mm.
because it is what keeps you going. Quite a lot of people also start celebrating mediocrity at the earlier stages, and all that you then start seeing is a life going. Yabona impilo leya ngakuthiwa retirement. A person at 28,
Yeah.
so kule feeling, so
Feeling
you
like
wind
you've
that down.
achieved
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I think it's a problem that we do have as a society where young people just as soon as you walk into the building that you've aspired to work for or in, you're like, now I've arrived, and that's it. That curbs your ambition.
Your hunger and ambition,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
Yes.
but
I think for me it was different in the sense that I didn't have that. Now, okay, fine. Wow, I got accepted here, but then I think I walked into those rooms and everyone's on their computer, and you're thinking,
Yusa.
what now? Like what now? So yeah.
But how do you stay ahead of the curve? Like what do you consume in as far as books, podcasts, just to you know
Okay, mostly I am normally reading on technology advancements. I was reading on 5G to 6G. But yeah, I do normally it's just on the tech side. And also if I have issues at work, I'll try to find out like how are the people solving these issues? How like who can we talk to solve this and the like. So yeah, it's just trying to keep yourself ahead of it, like always trying to find solutions to the problems that you're facing, probably. And also just as entertainment, learning like what else is happening, like where we're going.
I mean, I'll take you back a
Mhm.
little bit. You are a radio frequency and planning engineer.
Mhm.
How does your typical day look like? What do you do? What does a radio frequency and planning engineer do?
Okay, there's not necessarily like a typical day, but yeah,
Okay.
um, it's KPI monitoring, definitely. We always have a list of issues that are being faced by the like in the network.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always trying to plan. You're always trying to find solutions to those, trying to find the budget for it, trying to see what's possible, what isn't, what you can move forward with. Um, I'm on the road a lot doing surveys for areas where maybe we've gotten a complaint and I've maybe simulated some form of solution in the office, and you can't just simulate from the office only. You also have to be on the ground to
Yeah.
ensure whatever you're simulating is actually feasible. So yeah, it's normally, if I'd say a typical day,
Yeah.
it's checking the feasibility of possible solutions and dealing with whatever problems that have
Problems
come, the complaints
you
or
see.
yes. And in operations, I mean, there's
Yeah.
always something happening.
Yes.
You have to find a solution to. So
So in a way, you need to satisfy Emma needs of diverse customers.
definitely.
Okay. So if mina complain ngala kuthi I have an issue with your service.
Mhm.
Now, Solvela, is there a possibility that you will cause a problem for Andisiwe?
No,
No.
no, there's no way you. As I said, we simulate these things,
Okay.
so I wouldn't remove probably, let's say, coverage
Mhm.
from one area just to cover the other. It's
Okay.
more you find a solution for that customer where possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, it is ensuring. So your job in not so many words, it is to try to ensure a quality experience my customers are of a network.
Yes,
Okay.
quality assurance.
Okay.
So, Sege,
Mm.
your job involves a lot of traveling, right? What music do you listen to on these long drives? I'll ask you about 5 songs that are currently top of your playlist at random times during the conversation. So,
Okay. Um, right now, I'll try to think of the last time I was on the road. What was I listening to? I was listening to 2010s hit songs. The last song I can remember was Royals by Lord.
is it from the album Pure
Yeah,
Drug
yeah,
Name?
yeah.
Is it Drug Name? So,
Yes.
okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes.
And do you find that music eases or makes a journey better, or you're just one of those people who don't
Depends
care
on the
for it?
mood. Depends on what I feel like listening to. I listen to so many different types. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And I know recently, maybe as a form of self-care, you started going to the gym.
Mm, wow. Why are you bringing that up?
How are you finding it?
It's tough to stick to it. I think what happens most of the time is I'll go on site surveys, and some days you'll come back at like 9 p.m., 7 p.m., and then that day you skip. I can't go to the gym after that.
So you go in the evenings.
I go in the evenings, mornings. I'm not doing that one. No,
Okay.
not mornings.
Side note, side question. Which is better, morning or evening?
From a okay, I don't go to the gym anymore.
Okay.
But at the time I used to go to the gym, evenings was better. But the problem with evenings is what she has just said.
Yeah.
So to maintain routine, mornings would be the best. But also it depends also on how your mornings are. And then give me my mornings, then abese my activities living now. Like having to manage kuhamba kubantwana ke esikolweni, which I had outsourced, fully outsourced, but sekufuna ngisala ngiba involved somewhere. So to maintain a routine, mornings I think are better. Evenings, there's so many things that come in more than they do in the mornings.
True. I agree. It would help to maintain the frequency and just your routine. I think for me, I just also don't like the admin that comes with having to shower at the gym probably and get dressed there. Do I iron at the gym? What happens? I don't know what happens. So yeah.
So those are some of the things. Give me kwakungcono because I would move from gym back to the house
Yeah.
before going out to work. But kulabanye abantu akusiko possible. Because truth be told, at gym kunema issues about hygiene as well.
Yeah, true.
It's learning bands that are using those facilities.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are doing the cleaning and also the thoroughness of the cleaning and whatever. There's so many dynamics that comes with it.
So I should not join a gym.
You
That's what you
should.
guys are saying.
No,
You should.
join
That's
the
what I'm thinking.
gym.
That's what I'm
But
thinking.
but as well, exercise is not necessarily limited to
The
going to
gym.
the gym.
Yeah.
I hear people talk about walking.
Mm.
I do walk, but not so much. I usually then so what I'm doing is personally what I'm doing is not helpful in a lot of ways. I stay without doing much exercise, and then I go on a 3-day hike, which is a
Oh.
problem, or
Yikes.
a 10-kilometer
What do you
hike,
feel like when you get back?
and whatever. Of late, the body it tells that no, you haven't been exercising. In the past, probably I had indigenous fitness.
So, Sergey, you come into a very demanding environment. Cutthroat is
Mm.
basically what it is. What has been your biggest takeaway in your going on 6, 7 years now? Corporate.
4.
4.
Just over 4 years now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's extended. It's almost 6, 7.
6,
Yeah.
7. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
An industry veteran.
Take backs really are. I think at some point for me, I realized you need to always take care of yourself. The job never stops. It never ends. There isn't a pause. You really need to take care of yourself. I think I've seen it with a lot of people. Like someone's like you get depressed, and yeah, I think one of the biggest things is being in an industry that's fast paced and the job just never ends. There aren't any long breaks and the like. You just have to at all times make sure you're taking care of yourself, you're taking your leaves, and yeah. It took a little while. I think I did get to burnout at some point, and I was literally dragging to myself to work every day, and I realized, why do I think I'm the only person that can do this? You know, there's so many people there who will do it when you're not there. So yeah, I think for me, really, it's just taking care of yourself. The job never ends.
So besides going to the gym, how else do you what other like things do you use to take care of yourself?
Okay, honestly, it was the gym that's physical,
Okay.
but normally it's just hanging out, like time out from work, watch series, just avoid doing anything that's work related at that time. And
Kumile will target lapha.
yeah, the target's never good. The problem with the target is the target's always going to be there. You know, you reach it this month, it's still waiting for you next month. So yeah, at some point you just need to just get away from everything and focus on you.
Okay.
You go home a lot. And I know this because I know you personally, and I know I sort of have a view of your family dynamics. How important is it to have that strong a foundation and a backup and a support structure?
For me,
To you,
it's
yeah.
it's been very important, very very important. I think I was talking to Deepo earlier, talking about imposter syndrome and the
Yeah.
like. Even I remember even in varsity at some point, I just wasn't doing well at some course. You know, I wrote a test, I got back the mark, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this me? And like I was just breaking down. Like I didn't understand what more am I supposed to do to fix this. And call my mom. Same thing I did today before coming here. Like I think that's where I get my strength, really. So it's very important for me. They are very important people to me.
So basically, you are highlighting the importance of having a support structure.
Yes.
Yours, it could be, it is your mom and probably your siblings. To another person that may not have that, as I understand it, you're highlighting an importance of having that kind of a support structure that you can always bounce off things with and get words of
Encouragement.
advice,
Advice,
encouragement,
Yeah.
and that.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you also there's also the risk, especially with us tech people, of putting yourself in a corner, isolating yourself, and then it gets too heavy. Like it gets so heavy that um you spiral into a depression of sort.
Yes.
And you find that had you just kept contact,
Yes.
you would be.
Which is why the last episode that we uploaded here wasn't necessarily a tech conversation, but it was more of a mental health conversation, because there is a lot of that in the tech space. What techies deal with is very abstract. Of course, to the person that is consuming a service or that is consuming a service, yena wathi ukuthi kufanele ukuthi nangila nangabe kuyi-network ngibe na-3 bars,
Mm,
but lolo ku-resulta kulo 3 bars being there, it is a number of things, consolidation of things that are abstract in nature. It's software packages and whatever. There is a lot of trial and error as well
Yes.
in the
Definitely.
process. And this thing places a lot of pressure and on a few individuals. And those few individuals, I don't think we ever take a step back and ask them, how are you? That how are
yeah.
you is not there in this industry. What is there is, this doesn't work, fix it. This doesn't work, fix it. And the conversation about KPIs. The KPI, you walk into an office, it is there. You see a red.
Yeah. Like what's
You
going
see a
on?
red. Always you see a red. And
And maybe I'll just use that as a precursor to my next question, because I wanted to find out, Segi, um, how do you cope with the pressure? Like and it's not just pressure of the moving targets. There are these imposed pressures, like you walk in and I have heard about this person and supposedly a genius, and I come with visible expectations for you to solve um complex problems even on day one. How do you deal with that?
I think really for me, it's I'm lucky to have a really good team working with me. So you have a lot of people to help you shoulder the weight at times. So even when I feel like, okay, I'm drowning, it's just a lot. I'm able to talk to a manager or someone to let them know this is what's going on, and you're able to find direction from there with them. So yeah, I think I have a lot of support.
okay. What did you find was the biggest difference between you being in university studying and you being at work and so much is expected of you?
Wait, sorry, pause.
At university, you expected a lot from you. At work, maybe there is that. Plus, there is an expectation from. What is the difference between the two?
I think university is more me based,
Yeah.
which is what I preferred. I think for me, teamwork really, I learned more at work.
Yeah.
At least with my schoolwork, it's just me. I study, I get it done, I get my mark, and we move on.
Yeah.
But at work now, it's not about you
Yeah.
anymore. You're doing your part in
Yes.
like a vehicle with so many moving parts, So it's learning to work with a lot of people, different people with different understandings of different things. Like you come into a room and you're like, my RU just like blew up, maybe my and this person has no idea what you're talking about. And you're telling this person, please
Just like I
allow
don't
me.
have an idea what an
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it's fine.
But we keep going.
It's
You know,
fine.
whatever it is, like
Yeah.
It's
like
the
I
curse of
need. Okay, let's just
technology.
say I need
Yes.
a patch upgrade
Yes.
on some software, and
Yes.
you have a cross-functional group, you need to ask for approval. I need to do it. We might have some outage, something like
Yeah.
that. And this person's like, we'll be losing money. Like, is this necessary?
Mm.
So it's trying to ensure that you're able to work with different people from diverse sections. And yeah, I think that's one of the things I really found different from school and work.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure your use of abbreviations has since shut up.
No, it is.
Right.
No, it is.
That's
It is so
because of
scary.
technology.
It's so scary. You get
Yeah.
there and people are using these abbreviations, and you're like, "What are you guys?
Yeah, and
What
they
are you
expect
guys
to
even
know on
talking
day one.
about?"
Day one, they expect
I
you to know.
left. I left an audit firm to join a tech company, and my boss took me immediately, like on day one. The second day, I was in some workshop. They were doing scoping for implementation of a billing system and whatever. And I sat there, and these people were talking all abbreviations. So in terms of billing, in terms of charging, I'll take from the charging node to this, and then this and this, and then XDR, and then and I'm there. I'm just writing all of these billings, and then my intention is I'll go back to someone and say, please clarify what
What's
is
it?
what are
Yeah.
all of these things.
And you find that it's the same company,
Yeah.
the same abbreviation means different things in the
Yes.
different
Yes.
departments.
Yes. So yes, okay. Have you been approached by anyone, any young person? Okay, you've worked for 4 years.
Mhm.
To be a mentor?
No,
No.
no,
Okay. If
no,
you would
no.
be approached, what would you do?
I'd agree to it. I think I'd be asking myself, oh my goodness, what am I, I
Yeah.
think I'd feel the pressure of what am I going to impart
Yeah.
on this person.
Okay.
But probably be something that will push me to ensure that
Okay.
I have something.
And
really
when did you have, or did you have any mentor at some point?
No,
Okay.
but I would advise it.
Yes.
It's something that
That's
I
why I was asking
learned.
that question.
Mm,
Would you advise a person to actually do, and why?
definitely. It's something that I've learned later. There's a
Mm.
program that I got into. It was just self-growth.
Yeah.
And we got mentors. And I was thinking, what kind of forced conversation are we going to be having here? Like, that was my problem with it. Like,
Yeah.
what are we going to be talking about? We had like a session for like 30 minutes to an hour
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what are we going to be talking about? We got into it, and wow, honestly, it was, I got great insights. When the insights are, I think it was slash therapy vibes.
Yes.
Like when you are saying things and you are learning things about yourself, and also you are gaining tools of how to deal with the challenges you're coming across in the workspace.
Yes.
So yeah, someone who is better experienced, who probably has gone through some of the things you're going through,
Yes.
to help you avoid some of the mistakes that they maybe have made.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing to
Because
have.
when you suddenly realize, what took me 2 years to actually be able to finally grasp should not have taken me 2 years.
Mm.
Not necessarily technically, but more socially, how I integrate into a workspace. What I've seen, and what I usually advise of young people coming into work as new entrants is, at university you are expected to solve all problems yourself.
Yes.
At work, you have 5 people, 10 people, whatever number of people that probably have experienced the same thing. If you get stuck, just go to them.
Yes.
So I usually then find of people that are coming into the work environment, usually that is what they take a longer to unlearn. That I can ask somebody else, not with an intention for that person to do the work on my behalf. but more to actually, how do I get through this? And that person just extends that and work continues.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And I think also the I'm fortunate because I have when I started working,
Yeah.
I was surrounded by young people who had basically walked the journey.
Yeah.
I think the unfortunate thing for most people is that they start at organizations and the age gap is just significant.
Lama age
And
gaps lawo babe mavimbela.
yeah, so
Yes.
they are there, and
Yes.
every time you seem to ask, they're like, these youngsters,
Mm.
and I guess the point is it's okay to find mentorship outside
Where you yeah.
outside where you work, because it's not like you're saying, it's not generally work things
Yes.
that, like, there's a lot of personal growth that
It's
happens as a
more
result.
about rounded growth
Yeah.
as well. But also another choice of a mentor. It has to be a person who is more rounded, who is who who looks after themselves as well, both from a career as well as other aspects of their growth as well. Nalo ukuthi ke ube traceable ukuthi at least iya le direction. Ungasuke nje
Yeah.
mina I'm focused ekuliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nakusithi
I
angazi
hear you.
kakhulu.
But
For example.
also I think there's a conversation that I was having with someone. Good see. Don't take the lessons that you've learned doing one thing and discard them when doing the next thing.
Yes. Yes.
So it helps to expose yourself to as many things as possible. Not only just technically, but also sport, right? You can learn a lot about leadership just by being a basketball captain, and that leadership will impact your work,
Yes.
positively.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Sege, second question, Jim, what was the last song you listened to when you were in the gym?
Last time I was in the gym. It's been a while.
Okay.
I think I haven't been to the gym in 2 months.
Yeah, uyawa phenze futhi
Yeah.
pick
No,
yourself
I've
up.
decided after winter though.
Yeah, of course.
Every time I think about it, it's like,
No, Bella, in
after
winter is where we build the bodies for the summer.
No, guys, let's build winter bodies.
Yeah,
Let's
I'd
build
rather
winter bodies.
build a winter
Yeah.
body in summer.
Some of the days are longer, they are warmer,
Oh, man. Last song I was listening to Black Eyed Peas, Pump It.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
Right?
Yeah, the conversation in my songs. Every time there's a conversation of songs, I get lost a little bit. So I just play what I play, right?
Like, is it something you know? Like, you pick a track or you just play whatever's there?
He listens to house. And he is one of those people with an infinite list of house music. So he never listens to the same song twice.
But also I don't know the names of the songs that I listen to. I know I like this one. This one, no. This one I like.
I think with music for me, after I turned 26, I stopped trying to learn new music.
It happens.
It happens.
I just stopped. I don't know what's going on. I just don't know anything new.
It happens. I think it also goes with interest. In your earlier ages, you're interested in knowing this song and who sings that song, and
Yeah, what
but
new releases are
it,
there?
it is also just like the clothes that you wear as you grow older. at some point you are very brand first specific and whatever,
Yeah.
and then somewhere it just doesn't matter.
It does,
Not
yeah.
necessarily that it doesn't matter that you want it to fit anyhow. No. You are not so fascinated about the brand name. You are,
Yeah.
it happens.
My collection of plain black t-shirts is just it keeps increasing.
The person will come to work in the same
Yeah,
black t-shirt
same
every
black
day. Like,
t-shirt every day. Like,
what's going on here?
So we work for an employer. Let's it's a uniform for staff.
Mm.
We are not very uniform type of people. So
Yeah.
your car in my uniform. There's so many things that have been thinning. Shirts we bought white.
got 6 plain
Like
white
formal uniform.
shirts. Yeah, I just got 6 plain white shirts. That's all I got.
I've never seen you in formal before.
I have shirts now. I only had one shirt. The
Shocking.
shirt that I wore to the interview before I got the job. That was my only shirt.
Shocking.
So he went in order emashethi akhe nami ngala order emashethi ami lamhlophe yabo kunabo blue kunabo no
But
it's
stick to the white.
It's
Yeah.
white. So it does happen. And you got fools.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy you mentioned that because I noticed with me, I also don't like. I listen to.
It's like movies as well. There is a point in time where movies, hey, this movie, all of a sudden, nah.
Anymore.
Mineke lo sekuwes. We can watch a movie together. If you ask me about it next week, ukhuluma
Yeah,
ngayo.
I forgot.
So what I normally then say to people, and it's deliberate. Random on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to last long. I'll reboot.
As long as it is useful at that point, it is here. It is not useful, I remove it.
Makes sense though.
Yeah,
I relate.
Ukubutenge ngoma, black-eyed
Peas.
peas and whatever. What? Okay. Have you mapped out your career plan?
I think that sort of takes me back to something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like growing up and progressing from school to
Yes.
work, I never really had like a solid
Plan.
10-year plan, maybe
Yeah.
5 years, you know, like most
Yeah.
of my plans were normally
Yes.
always looked at these people, you'd sit down, you're talking about plans, and they're like, okay, so I want this position and then this one. I think this one's going to help me to get to this one, you know, like everything mapped out.
Yeah.
So I normally have more shorter plans
All right.
than longer. I think because of my need for sort of control.
Yeah.
I think when it's so long term, you find yourself like fumbling in between. So I think when it's shorter term, you know exactly where I'm going to. So yes, I do have
Okay.
a sort of plan for
Okay.
the short term.
Still in the RF space. No. I'm okay.
Yeah,
Now I'm looking. No, I'm
You
asking
understand
it.
my hesitance?
No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
it's fine. I'm asking it from this point of view. For some people, their plan, they map out a plan to CEOship.
Yes.
For some people, they map out a plan to CTOship. Other people map out a plan that I'll do radio frequency and planning for 5 years, and then move to maintenance for 5 years, and then move to it becomes now you're looking at it more from a domain point of view, like it's a horizontal type of plan, not necessarily a vertical type of plan.
I'd say definitely my plan is vertical,
Okay.
but that's the longer term.
Some specialization of
Yes,
sort.
but
Okay.
I do believe in diversification.
Okay.
And not sticking to this is what I know.
Yeah.
I think I'm more curious than that. There's a
Okay.
lot I feel I still want to learn. I
Okay.
still have a lot of room to learn.
Would you consider a career outside of engineering?
Yes.
Okay. And okay. Should I or should I not?
Don't do it.
Okay, I won't. It was going to be outside of engineering. What spaces would be of
piques your
interest?
interest.
I know an engineer who is an HR
Yes, and
funny.
he's so good at it.
Definitely not.
I and also by spaces as well. In engineering on its own, there is industry where you're in, like industry, like if now we're talking about telecoms industry where you're at the cutting edge of consumption of those services directly by customers. There is a little bit of a step back manufacturing of the products and components that you are utilizing here. Step back, there is research and development, which leads to the manufacturing, which then leads to the consumption. But also, outside of that, there is the academic space and whatever.
I'd say of all of those, I really enjoy the space that I'm in
Okay.
currently. I think I've learned so much with working with like my teamwork, my like being able to work in a team, and I think I've learned so much going into manufacturing, and I feel like I wouldn't be able to utilize as much
Okay.
what I've learned. So I think what I'm looking at is moving more in that line.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So in the team setting, what's the one thing about you that you've learned just working in a team?
You learn good things and you learn bad things about yourself. I think for me mostly is I tend to find myself getting a little more agreeable in the sense that you'll try to put out something, but someone will have a stronger voice than yours, and you're like, okay. So that was one of the things that I learned about myself, being so used to working on my own, like from school, so when you get into a room and there's so many people who are probably even more experienced than you are, you get into the room and you're like, I don't think, and someone else has a stronger voice than yours, and you let it go. So I think that's one of the things I've been working on, to just like assert yourself better, get your word across. Like if it's wrong, it's wrong. It's okay. I don't mind being wrong. So yeah, I think I learned that. And then also
Are you introverted?
in certain circles maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's an extroverted introvert.
Yeah. I think you could put it that way.
In teams, and there's team theories and whatever. They also do mention about that. The opinion of the extrovert is usually the opinion that
Yeah.
which is not always the.
That's how Donald Trump ended up being president.
He's going back. He's going back.
Unfortunately, it seems so.
Okay. You were talking about learning about yourself. Nangu Pazamis.
Working in teams.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then I think what I did learn was I can make good relationships with people that help me work well with them. That was I realized that I don't necessarily have a problem with making relationships, have good rapport with people, and yeah, we work well together. So I don't mind working in teams anymore.
Do your teammates feel the same working with you?
I have gotten feedback, yes, that no. Yes, I'm sure they are.
Okay.
Thinking about it.
have you discovered that you don't have to solve every problem by yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think when you come into the work environment and you have been so good at doing the things that are required for you to get there, you want to solve every problem and you want to solve it right away. And
It hurts when you can't.
yes,
It really hurts.
and you take it as it really nicks your confidence. You're like,
Definitely.
okay, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was, you know. So I think that's one other lesson that people who tend to excel then find themselves learning when they start working in teams and in corporate. And yeah.
I think what would happen was that whenever I'd do that, you have something on your like on your list that just doesn't get solved, and you are discussing these things at a stand-up meeting every other day, and you realize, why am I not asking for help? So I think I just gave up on that. I was like, you know what? Get over whatever fear it is you have or whatever pride it is. I don't know what it is exactly, but I just need to get over it. And luckily, I had the team that I do. And yeah, it's just, if something's just not working out, sit down and you discuss it and you find a solution.
Okay. There's a word that you used there earlier in the conversation. I've been waiting for the perfect moment to ask you about it. Imposter syndrome.
Mm.
It happens a lot. It happens to me all the time where I'm sitting in a room and I'm like, yo, everyone is
They know what they're doing.
yeah.
What are we doing here?
I'm like,
There are environments where nakufika nje ekuseni, like everyone is uyashatela,
Mm.
grabbing coffee, hey, sitting down, and then you're like, what is everyone doing?
yeah, and you're just there. And
Thank
you're
you.
like, yo.
Exactly. My first few weeks at work, like, how do they know what they're supposed to do? That was my question when I got there. Like, no one's telling anyone, it's okay, Kayoni, do this,
Yeah.
Tipo, do this, and then you go and start to get on your laptop. But people just walk in, they open their laptops, and they're like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? Am I ever going to be like that?
Yeah, so I do want I have a bit of advice that I recently got that I'm going to share, but I just want to find out. Um I know it's something that you've probably felt. I mean, you mentioned you alluded to
Definitely.
that, but how have you managed to deal with that, or how are you dealing with that? Because it doesn't seem to go away. Hey,
It doesn't go away.
No, it won't go away.
I think first step is actually recognizing that you have that issue. So every time I find myself beating myself down, like, bro, are you sure you'll be able to do this? I just remind myself, imposter syndrome, imposter syndrome, imposter syndrome. And I move on and try to do it. And I think I heard, there was some quote I heard, I don't remember where it was. Like, everything that you're going through in life is just building you, shaping you to be able to know what you need to do when you get there,
oh,
Mm.
oh,
So I'm like, okay, I may not know, like I may not be great at that time whenever whatever's happening, but you know what? I'll know what I need to do. I've gone through everything that I've been through, so I'm able to know what I need to do.
so that's actually very insightful. Thank you for sharing that. What I wanted to share is I recently went to a training, and the biggest takeaway on imposter syndrome was it's this lady gives a very nice TED talk. I'll try and ask Naki to put it somewhere in the YouTube uh, thingy there. But she says, "Fake it till you become it." Right? Like you are expected to give a good talk, right, and be confident. Just go there and fake giving a good talk, and then before you know it, you'll be giving a good talk. And it's really incredible how many leaders and big people suffer from imposter syndrome. So yeah, to the young people and to you and let's all fake it until we become it. Yeah.
Definitely. I think I remember when I was in varsity, I'd always think, gosh, life is going to catch up with me when I get to work. I think I'm just skating on the edge. Like, you know, I always looked at it like an ice skating ring. Like the light
Yeah.
is at the center and probably I'm just at the edge there where no one can see me. That's how I always felt. Like, oh my gosh, I did great. Okay, life's gonna catch up with me and realize that I really don't know what's going on. So yeah, it really helped, like actually putting a name to it, like this is what it is, and trying to work. I think it also was one of the reasons I find myself not being able to listen to motivational speeches. Like I cringe in the first 15 minutes because these people are have it all figured out, you know?
Yeah.
Like they know it.
They can be overwhelming.
It
And
is.
there's
I
this theme song that they have.
Yeah.
It's like they have this universal theme song where if there's this one on social media called Goalcast.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, they have this theme song, and it seems to be common across all motivational videos.
You know the thing with imposter syndrome, though, the person that you look at and say this one has it figured out, they may be in that very same space. Recently, I've been listening. I finished it, by the way. I've been listening to the story of Adolf Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Um, most people, most of us know of Adolf Hitler, the fascist, the great orator, the speaker, and whatever, and whatever. But Hitler had so many people that he actually adored and looked up to. One of them was Mussolini,
Yeah,
the fascist
Italian
Italian.
dictator. Yeah,
He had been able to conquer and grabbed power in Italy, and he was looking up to him. If he did it, I can do it. But also the reverse was true. Years later, when Mussolini, okay, now Hitler had grabbed power in Germany. Mussolini was now looking with so much
yeah,
admiration
Hitler.
of Hitler. So this thing, and further his oratory skills, he spent hours on it in each and every day in front of a mirror practicing speeches. And this thing it's just being aware of the fact that he has it figured out. There's something that he may be looking this way as well, and also being confident enough in your own the domains and areas of knowledge. But also, most important, and I usually say it, most important is also being able to say, I don't know this.
yeah.
Yes.
Being asked to do something, I can try it. I'm not too sure about it. So usually, if you have a strong imposter syndrome, one of the things that you then want to counter it would say, I'll do everything. And then you start failing and then you start panicking and stuff. But being upfront and say, okay, yes, I will try it. But this and this and this I'm not so confident of. I'll ask you to help and keep me in check and whatever.
But I think also one other thing they maybe just getting advice from you guys. There is this great sense of, when you're presented an opportunity, where you sort of,
Lift
you
up
know,
your hand.
yeah, but you sort of
Yes.
hesitate.
Yes.
And yeah. How do you conquer that?
Wow. Wow. I think something just came to my head where, you're like, yes, I'll do it. But
Mm,
you try to find so many excuses
mm,
as to why you can't do it. Even though you do feel like I'd like to do this, but I have this on my plate and this on my plate. What if I can't do everything? And maybe I'm biting off more than I can chew.
mm.
Yeah, it is. It's something. I think life solved my issue out on its own. So yeah, I didn't need to necessarily do anything.
Lucky you.
Life just solved it for me.
So
And they also is generally the fear of being wrong. I think one of the things that we need to embrace, of course, we can try to do it and change it for ourselves. We can't say late, but at least pass it to the up and coming. We need, with the people that we are raising and the people that we lead, the people that we work with, create an environment less safe for them to fail. Sometimes we look at life as this thing that doesn't allow room for failure. And I usually then it is because of the schooling system. Our schooling system is one that says, have you passed or not?
True.
You failed. So you failed. Mina ke nangisesikolweni bebasishaya. Like, oh, uthola ngaphasi kwa 70, uthathola 1. Or ngaphasi kwa 8, uthathola 1. Ngaphasi kwa 70, uthathola 2, and whatever. So now here we are in life, and I think I have an idea, but I'm not sure because of those traumas. I think what the best thing that we can do for ourselves and for people that we work with and the people that look up to us and whatever is to encourage people to fail.
I think you bringing that up kind of brings something back. I think also like from high school, the people that they bring to come and motivate you. I remember one lady, she got there and she's like, I just study my books every day. I don't have time for friends. I don't, like that kind of person. I have my life mapped out as soon as I want, like this was my plan, and
Yes.
I'm there now. It just made me think, yikes.
I'm going at it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Kanti wena ngaleso
Like,
sikhathi leso kanti wena ngaleso sikhathi leso usakhohlwa nje nalokuthi unikete homework.
Exactly. So I think maybe more relatable
Yes.
Yeah.
content,
Yes.
like where someone
Yes.
can come through and be like, you know what, I really didn't have it planned out.
Yes.
But life worked out, you just keep on keeping on. Don't stop and wait for the plan to
Yeah.
come to you. You need to keep on moving. You'll get there eventually.
There is a facilitator. I was in a leadership session at work. There's a facilitator. One question that she repeated on and on and on and on with almost everyone that was assigned to do something. Before you take your task, tell us which was that point that was the turning point for you. I mean, we all have those points. Imagine, I used to, from 1 to form 5, I used to struggle with, not struggle. I didn't get the grades lebekafana lamanye subjects in geography until form 5, first test I got 100. And with that, it was a 10 in my geography experience. It actually became one of the subjects that I found easiest, because I think there was a mental block because I have very geography and then until I have it was a coincidence, a test yabalula or something,
Yeah,
whatever.
and
But
now
all
you're
of a
fighting to
sudden,
maintain.
now
Yeah.
I'm fighting to maintain. Yeah, when you start looking at this thing, and it makes sense.
I think also that you see it's possible now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So unfortunately, time does fly. So we'll need to bring the conversation to a close. I will do so by asking.
So that is usually then an extra 30 minutes.
It's not the end.
Okay. So I will wrap it up with 2 questions.
Okay.
You cook, right?
Yes.
Last song you played while cooking? Cooking
I
is a
don't
very
think I
nice
listen to
experience.
music when I cook. I'm normally watching something.
How does it
Are you
work?
sure you don't burn your
Man, how,
food?
how does it work?
I can hear the TV from the kitchen,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I'll just go off of what I'm hearing, and then
Oh,
I'll
okay.
keep on checking and go back to the kitchen and I'll check. So yeah, I can't think of the last song I listened to. I'm normally watching something because cooking for me is in the evening after work.
Okay, so last song you listened to in the house. Loud.
Pretty
Full blast.
Wings by Maxwell.
I love that song.
I know, man.
love it.
Right?
I love it. So, and then the final real question is, what advice would you give to, first of all,
Before that,
let's say,
before that, do you travel?
I do, not as much as I'd like to, but I do here and there.
What is your preference for travel? For your leisurely travel? What is your ideal holiday?
Oh, like a location, or you mean like this?
Safari. What your space of
I want to be on the beach, just basking in the sun
okay.
the whole day, not doing anything, no phone calls, nothing.
yeah,
Just be there. Maybe read a book.
You read books.
I haven't in a while. I don't know what happened. I used to read a lot, fiction though,
Yeah.
mostly, and then I just
It
find
shifts.
myself getting really busy, and every time you think of reading a book, oh my goodness,
It
I've been
shifts.
reading the whole
Yeah.
day.
It shifts. It happens.
Yeah.
Allow it.
Mm.
I hated it. I love it now. I hated
You hated
reading.
reading?
I love it
Oof,
now.
I loved it. I think for me mostly it was I was a literature person. I loved
Mm.
people think it's weird, but I love literature. I love how you bring the character to life in your head.
Yes.
I hate it then when they make the movie and the guy's not as handsome as he was in my head.
Yeah, get a handsome. The storyline says
I know.
I think your power of imagination, in your power of your power of imagination. Actually, reading. I was also like that. And I moved from. So at some point, I was reading. We were getting my novels from a local library, Gahlatse, with a friend. So every Friday we would go there. He would come with, okay, best limit here, 2. He'd come with 2, I'd come with 2. Actually, we say 3. Each would come with 2. But by the time we send it back on Friday, at least 5 of them.
Yeah.
So it does like that. And there's so much the power of imagination is so strong. You then get disappointed with the movie.
The movie's always disappointing. Always. The storyline, you're thinking, oh my gosh, there was so much going on. Like, he just dies like that. Like, what happened? Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
my 2 questions.
So there was the advice.
Yes, what advice would you give to young Sege just walking in those doors? First day, infinite aura.
That I didn't know about, but okay.
And 2, what advice would you give to other young people who are about to walk through those doors?
Young Segem, I'd say stop being afraid, like being intimidated. You'll do okay. You'll do well. I think you'd actually do better if you let go of all of that fear of like projecting, letting out what you think, like being able to assert yourself better. I think that's what I'd say to her. And then other young people is what I have said, just reiterating that you don't necessarily need to have everything in place, have a clear path. Of course, it's great to think about your future and what you would like, but you just need to keep on moving. Like whatever opportunity you have, take it, and don't wait for like a
Perfect
magical
plan, yeah.
perfect plan that this is what I'm going to do and move to this. Don't wait for it. Just take whatever opportunity you get and go with it.
Thank you. Can I add a quote on that? You mind?
Please.
They say you get the journey is better if you have a compass and not a map.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's exactly what you're
Exactly. Yeah.
trying to say. Yeah,
Yes.
that's if you know where you want to go, it doesn't matter where the road takes. The compass will always guide you.
Guide you to.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Sege. Thank you for making the time. We truly appreciate, and we always say this, but we will be looking for, we will be having sort of round table conversations sometime soon, as soon as our lives are back in order. Um, and please do answer the call the next time we make it.
I sure will.
It hasn't been as hard as you thought it would be.
No, it hasn't. But Karen kept telling me, "You'll be okay. You'll do well."
I think as well. Oh, Coach says valid. I think as well. It's the nature of the beast that you deal with. You're in a career where, over time, you learn to be very comfortable off everything,
Yeah.
just being in that
Behind
corner. In that,
scenes, yeah.
True.
But that's typically you. But I think we do need to, and that is why we created this platform, to take those people that are hiding themselves, Lengemo,
Unsung heroes.
because there are people that need to identify and say, that's my story. But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for
And
having
we
me.
celebrate you. And we thank our sponsor. Um,
The Coolers Mobile Bar.
yes, I feel like okay, that's a story for another day. I'll open with the story. I feel like the Coolers Mobile Bar are responsible for my bad habits. But yeah, and thank you to our viewers. Thank you for your continued support. I hope you enjoyed this one half as much as we enjoyed having the conversation.
Yes.
Cheers.